Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who have agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-461-3151. That's 1-800-461-3151. Again, 1-800-461-3151.
Every day, in almost every way, this digital revolution that we're in the midst of is most certainly changing our lives. We hope for the better. I'm Dave Graveline. We at Into Tomorrow are here to help either way. So if you've got a question, a concern, a comment, maybe you just want to share some tech rage, or perhaps you just want to share what your favorite app is these days, we love to hear from our audience. And you make the broadcast each and every week. Your questions and concerns and comments help for other listeners. Some of our best calls are when other listeners are saying, hey, I've got some additional input from what you guys provided, or you were totally wrong. Here's what you should have told the person. Whatever it is, we want to hear from you. Let us send you prizes for participating on the show. Keep the mantra in mind. Call in, win stuff. It really is that easy. And what number or how do you call? Well, the easiest, most efficient way is to use the audio option on the free Into Tomorrow app, which we hope you already have anyway, because you got some tech news and other fun stuff and a lot of info, as well as the ability to use that audio option and join us. Just search those two words in your favorite app store, Into Tomorrow. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way. It still works, and it works well. 800-899-INTO. Just dial that number toll-free from anywhere in North America. Skype into it from anywhere in the world if you prefer. 800-899-INTO. That's 4686. And let us hear you on the program. Our next guest is looking to create the perfect currency developed by computer scientists to be the best money humanly possible. The creator of CloudCoin is Sean Worthington. Sean, welcome Into Tomorrow. How you doing?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. A lot of discussion lately. I don't have to tell you, but even from our audience, a lot of questions and concerns about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and just all sorts of things that have had people very confused. Some have said, wow, I was smart enough to buy some of fill in the blank, early on, and I've made a lot of money. Others said, I've lost everything. And all in between. What can you share, first of all, before we get into what CloudCoin is all about, in terms of what's going on these days with all this cyber security, or cyber currency, I guess I should say?
Yes. Well, we're having a bubble, and it's a very clear, simple bubble. When people first got involved with digital currencies, they were interested in buying and selling things with it. And then we found it very useful for buying things overseas. You could buy $1 million worth of oil in Venezuela and get around all the tariffs that they've got over there. But every month the value started going up, as opposed to the regular government-type money that seems to go down in value.
Yeah.
And people made money, and when you see other people making money, you want to make money too. So we started seeing people start to invest, and then they started using their credit cards to buy, and then they started mortgaging off their homes to buy Bitcoin and different digital currencies. So it's gotten pretty crazy, and it's a classical bubble.
And I'm sure it's safe to say Bitcoin made the biggest bang, at least so far, in this cryptocurrency industry, has it not?
That's right. It's the first mover. It was the first technology, or the first one to be able to solve what's called the physical integrity problem of digital money. The problem is, how can you stop somebody from counterfeiting something that's digital? They can just copy and paste it 1 million times. And how can you stop the government from coming in and just shutting off the servers so the whole system doesn't work? And they were able to figure that out with the blockchain.
And has that been like the big problem? Because obviously, despite its enormous popularity, Bitcoin certainly was what a lot of people were talking about. Many saying, perhaps rightly so in the long run, that I'll skip that, thanks. But I'll keep an eye because it looks interesting. Others, again, as I mentioned, made some money doing this. Certainly, the comparison you drew to government currencies, up and down, and usually down, and trading, and just so many bizarre things occur. But at least it's the government money, and hopefully, depending on the government, is good, even if it's less, if it's gone down in value. But this whole, like Bitcoin and others, seems to be an issue. But counterfeiting, was that kind of the single biggest problem that they were then able to solve? And if so, why are they still seemingly headed for major problems?
Well, they have some fundamental qualities. Unfortunately, one of those qualities is not scalability. And that means that the more people that use it, the slower it gets. And so Bitcoin's great as long as you're not trying to do more than 7 transactions per second. Once you hit that barrier, everything starts to slow down. People start getting frustrated. So there's some fundamental problems with the blockchain. And
are there that many people, Sean, that are trying to do more than 7 transactions per second?
Yes.
Wow.
So they have gone to these exchanges that have popped up. They've tried to buy things, and now the transaction rate is it takes about 20 hours to confirm a transaction.
Oh, geez.
So that's way too long for any kind of retail use.
And yet we hear a lot about blockchain these days as being something very good and very favorable. I guess in this case, that's not the case?
Well, the blockchain is the first algorithm that allows us to permanently store some information. So it creates a database in which you can write transactions to, and you can read those transactions, but you can't delete any of the transactions that have happened, and you cannot update them or change them. And what this allows us to do is to track currency from one person to another person and see a whole chain of how that money changed hands. And that's a good way to stop counterfeiting, but it takes about 150 gigabytes worth of data right now, and it's growing. And it also records everybody's transactions, which is undesirable. So there's a lot of good things about it. If you want to permanently store something, then the blockchain is good for that.
And it sounds like that's not a good idea, an acceptable idea for example, retail use. We're not going to go into Macy's and use Bitcoin or anybody else to buy stuff. Or do you see that happening?
No, it's not going to happen because it would take forever to do that. And if everybody did it, then Bitcoin would be done for. And but we have created something called CloudCoin, and that does not track everybody's transaction. That just checks to see if the money is counterfeit or not. That only takes less than a second. And we use another algorithm called raida instead of the blockchain. The raida is the redundant array of independent detection agents, and it allows us to quickly track the money and stop all counterfeiting without having to record every transaction and without even knowing who did what.
And yet the similar security is there, I'm assuming.
Yes, so one of the main things is that it cannot be shut down. It's got to be nuclear safe. It's got to be safe so if a government decides it doesn't like it, the government is actually unable to do anything about it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of cool. It seems like anytime you can keep any government out of it, it's got to be a favorable thing. I'm noticing on your website at cloudcoin.global, it says, developed by computer scientists to be the best money humanly possible, now in pre-release. What does the pre-release part mean, and when is it going to be readily available for everyone if they choose to go that route?
Unlike other currencies, we spend our money into existence.
Yeah.
And so we have about 60 tranches of the money, and we've already turned out about 14 of them. And so we're going to be turning out...
What are tranches? Is that what you call
tranches?
It? Yeah.
That's just where we take a bunch of money and divide it into 60 different parts.
Oh, okay. Send some this way if you'd like. It sounds like you're just emptying your pockets and distributing it in different places. So, but how does that benefit somebody who might then invest in CloudCoins?
Well, CloudCoin, when we created it, we had no idea that people would be interested in investing in it, because when you think about money, it doesn't seem like it's an investment. It seems like something that you have and you spend, where, if you're going to buy stocks, that might be an investment, or if you're going to buy bonds, that's an investment. But buying a currency doesn't seem like it's going to be an investment unless you're just trying to buy and trade. But it turns out that it is an investment. But what we do is we hire programmers and we hire system administrators, and they're developing the whole CloudCoin system and all of the software that goes around it. And we're going to be done distributing all the money out of the mint in about 4 years, roughly.
And so what does that mean then? That it's then no longer available, or you just have to use what there is and hopefully others are trading in CloudCoin in order to do business with them, or what? What happens in 4 years?
Well, we see CloudCoin as being a currency that can be used globally. And so although we're distributing it in a way that is unusual, in that we're not having an ICO and we're just selling it for other dollars or something, we think that there's going to be a very strong CloudCoin economy. And people can buy it right now. They can go Google buy CloudCoin. They can find people that will sell it to them. And we're going to have an exchange, a regular international exchange here in the next month. So it'll be just like any other currency and liquid like that.
And so how does one go about storing CloudCoins then? If I buy some, and by the way, how much does it cost to buy? How do you compare it? Is it compared to a U.S. dollar, or how do we even know what we're getting?
Well, right now it is for sale for 5 cents. But there's lots of different people that are selling them. There's lots of different prices. We don't have a centralized market yet. When you get it, the first thing you have to do is you have to pwn it. And pwn is a word that we created. It means password own. All of the CloudCoins have passwords, and you've got to go and change all of those, because whoever knows the passwords is the owner.
Okay, and for 5 cents each, heck, send me $1 worth. I'll see what happens. It sounds certainly reasonable, like you don't have to be spending thousands of dollars to get involved and then hope that you can then use your CloudCoin. Is anybody accepting it for goods or services yet?
There are some places in Serbia, believe it or not.
In Serbia, I shop there regularly.
All right. But we're still developing what's called the SDK, the Software Development Kit.
Right.
We think that's going to be done within the next month. And this CloudCoin is the first currency that can be imported into video games, or exported out of video games, or imported into any software. So it's going to be a big revolution, I think. Wow. We're just getting started with the software.
Well, it sounds like you're off to a good start. I understand the whole pre-release thing. If folks want more information, you should visit their site at cloudcoin.global. And Sean, do you do the typical disclaimer of, who knows, and just, use caution, because like anything else, it is an investment of sorts. You should make sure you get all the information available to yourself, or do we have to be making those similar disclaimers in this case?
Well, I think if we were to try to make it a security and say, hey, please give us money, and then you're going to get something at the end of it, and we've got this big company that's controlling stuff, then that might make sense. But it's kind of like Bitcoin. Do you have to disclaim to people to buy Bitcoin or to buy your Bitcoins? I mean, certainly it is a new frontier, and it is very volatile, and it's very risky if you're trying to do an investment. If you're thinking about investments, you got to think that you're going to lose money, and you've got to do your research, certainly. Sure.
It makes sense. So again, yes, do your research. But Sean, you're a delight to chat with. I wish you well in CloudCoin, and let's stay in touch. We'll see how things develop, and keep track of what you guys are doing.
Sounds wonderful. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. I'm Dave Graveline. We continue right here on the Advanced Media Network.